ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome into your Wednesday edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're going to open up our text line this hour. We do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Pretty much open all show long. We are going to hear from, in just a few minutes, the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Marshall University, Sydney Shelton. Volleyball coming up this weekend, a home stand against Coastal Carolina. And, of course, on Sunday, it's exhibition play, fans first for the marketing folks out there in the audience. The Thundering Herd men will take on U-Pike at 3, and then at 6:30, the women will take on U-Pike, and that's coming up Sunday at the Cam Henderson Center, so looking forward to that. Some of you have asked me, is that going to be streamed? Is it going to be broadcast anywhere? And unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for you. It's not going to be streamed. It's not going to be on ESPN Plus. So if you're listening to the show, you're out of towner and you want to follow along, won't have an opportunity this time. So yeah, this is one of those where if you're in the area, if you're in Huntington, you're in the greater tri-state area, you can get to the game, you want to come, you can make a day of it. But if you're out of town, you want to listen to the game, you want to stream it, this is exhibition play, so not an avenue for you this time. Hopefully things will pick up as the Thundering Herd gets set for the upcoming season, both on the men's and women's side. Of course, I guess part of this is the fact that it's brand new. We got a football game the night before, so usually these things get televised. Usually these things are broadcast. So this is one of those rare exceptions. I've seen some chatter or heard some chatter like, hey, I really like to kind of see what the team looks like, but I can't come. I'm out of town. You know, is there going to be an option for me? I've kind of got that from a few people, and unfortunately, no. But I'm going to be there. I know it's not the same. I'll have post-game reaction, things like that, but I know it's not the same. You want to actually experience it and then hear what we're talking about afterwards. So I'll be there for you on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. I get a chance to see the men and the women. I think, and this isn't a slight on Dan, it's just I'm more excited to see the women play this time around, to see what the excitement is all about with Kim Stevens and her squad. There is a lot of excitement with the program. How much excitement have we seen with the women's program like this? Not a lot in a long time. We have not seen this. So that's the Sunday. Saturday, of course, Marshall taking on Coastal Carolina. But we got Sunbelt action coming up on Thursday. Georgia State at Georgia Southern. They have an interesting name for this rivalry. I don't know if you're familiar exactly with some of the rivalries in the Sunbelt as we continue to learn the league as a new member. But they call this modern day hate. I like that. I know Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee, they have the 100 miles of hate, but they call this modern day hate. I don't know where that came from, but they do hate each other. And that makes it fun. I don't even want to talk about the Old Dominion James Madison rivalry. They call that royal rivalry. Oh, okay. It's the royal rivalry. Ooh. I know I'm not trying to drop shade on it. I just did, but I'm not trying to. That just doesn't ring true to me. It's like, yeah, it's the royal rivalry. The Dukes and the Monarchs, the royal rivalry. No. I'm skipping that one. Give me modern day hate. I want to see modern day hate. And so that's going to be fun for fans of the Sun Belt. That's coming up Thursday night. That's going to be on ESPN2 if you're looking forward to seeing a little Sun Belt action. That's where you can find that game. And, of course, most of the games this weekend, except for Marshall's game and the Old Dominion game against James Madison, will be on ESPN+. NFL Network is going to have Marshall at Coastal Carolina. I know a lot of you don't have the NFL Network. That's where we come in, and we'll have the game for you here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Old Dominion at James Madison, 25th ranked James Madison. And that's going to be on ESPNU. So I think the Herd got a pretty good deal here. NFL Network, I've watched a couple of their broadcasts. It's not bad at all. This year it's not bad. I know we grade these things. We just have that tendency to watch these broadcasts and grade them. I don't know why we do that, but we do it. And I think the NFL broadcasts have been pretty solid so far. I haven't heard or seen anything bad come out of one just yet. I know there were some vibes going on about maybe some of the missteps on the broadcast last week. I know there was a misspelling on one of the graphics. I got that. I saw that. Also, I know there was the guy that had the shirt that had the curse word that was prominently featured. And let me tell you on that, I've seen two thoughts on this. I don't know where I'm at on this. For one, like how the camera guy messed up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, during the broadcast last week, there was a fan. He had a shirt that said "Game Effin' Day." All right, he's excited. As if we've never heard a curse word at a football game. No, I've never heard a curse word. So when this got out on social, there were fans. If you haven't heard this, let me tell you, there were fans who were like, that's funny, but, the cameraman messed up, shouldn't have done that. And there are some fans who are like, how this is an embarrassment to the university. This is an embarrassment. How dare they? And the cameraman messed up. I think it's not necessarily the cameraman's fault. The cameraman's just going to get shots. That's what the cameraman does. The cameraman gets shots. And so he lines up a shot. Somebody in the truck should have said, no, that's not our shot. You notice his shirt? Yeah, move on to another fan. That's not our shot. Okay, someone should have told the cameraman, don't take that shot. And the cameraman will move on. Like, okay, I'm going to find somebody else. I'm going to find another crowd shot there. Somebody in the truck should have said something if that's the case. But I didn't know about this. I wasn't watching the broadcast. I was watching the game, and I didn't know this until I saw some of the uproar on social media. Again, that's where all the uproar usually is, on social media. It's, how dare this guy wear this shirt? How dare they? They're an embarrassment to the university. And then there's others like, hey, you know what? The shirt, I've seen worse. Cameraman messed up. Shouldn't have put it out there, but I've seen worse. And there are some in the middle. I don't know where I'm at on this. Because if a guy wearing that shirt is embarrassed, I've seen more heinous things. I don't know if that's the thing that's going to be embarrassing to the university. You can't control that. You absolutely cannot control it. At the same time, somebody in the truck should have went, look, okay, yeah, it's cute, it's funny, but yeah, let's not do that. Let's not have a meme later on about it, unless that was what they were going for. Whatever the case may be, I saw that. It was funny. It was hilarious. I giggled a little bit, and then I moved on with my day. And then I saw the uproar about it. I'm like, okay, we got bigger issues here than the guy wearing the T-shirt that had the profanity on it. I've seen worse shirts. I've been at games with other fan bases with worse shirts. I've heard chants that are worse. So I don't know if that's the epic one that a lot of people were making that out to be. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of saw the shirt and was like, okay, I mean, not my personal choice. I'm not going to wear that. I giggled a little bit, like, yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay. I don't know if I would have wore that, though. But right on. You do you, right? Absolutely. You do you. I'm going to tell you right now, that shirt was not licensed. So if anything, if you want to make sure that you are wearing appropriate material that is approved for game day usage, make sure you get something licensed. That was not licensed at all. And I think that's becoming a trend. You see kind of shirts like that more. You see shirts like that. You've seen shirts like that before I was born. People always had the custom shirts. We just gotten a lot more technically proficient in our graphics design. There are people now who can do this stuff at home. They do it as a side business. They can print these things up. It's real cheap, and they can do professional quality graphics. Anybody can do it now. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line. It is a Wednesday. We're going to hear a little bit later on from the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Sydney Shelton. And if we've got time, I've got a couple of interviews that I had ready to go. We might get to those today. The first one, and both of them come from the dedication last week. Before the game started, the Scaggs Family Practice Facility was officially dedicated. The governor came and spoke and said a few words. Christian Spears spoke. Dan D'Antoni spoke. Kim Stevens spoke. Ari Agnes spoke. I mean, this facility, really, Gullickson, it's an upgrade. It's vastly improved. It's a new place for these teams to benefit from, have some more practice space. And I think they need all the practice space they can get. I would like to see it expand even more. I hope at one point, and again, I'm writing checks that I don't have the money for, but I would like to see at one point in the future a practice facility for the men and the women. That way, both can practice when those teams need to, and there's no conflict. I know there's going to be practice in the gym. There's going to be practice in the arena. You're going to have that. But ultimately, I hope this is the first step in many. I'd like to see a practice facility for both men and women, or at least a second court. That way you can have both practices going on at the same time if you need to. That would be a long-term pitch. But as it stands now, they've needed this sorely. And so volleyball benefits from this. I can remember calling games on PA in Gullickson for volleyball. And the PA system looked like it was from the 1970s, I think. And I had to make the announcements in like the CB radio handle. Much needed improvement at Gullickson. So I chanced a couple interviews, and I got them. I got to talk to Christian Spears. We'll get to that later on if we have time. I also talked to Wyatt Scaggs, met their family. They were super nice. And so we talked to Wyatt. I'll have that for you, if not today, sometime this week, but I think we're going to get to it today. And we're going to get to your text as well, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. It's a Wednesday. Let's have fun on today's edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, John Garton, 304-525-1116. In Barboursville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100. And in Cerrito, Aaron Billups, 304-453-4600.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette. We look forward to bringing the residents of Wayne County a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, community involvement, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com. Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you were a sports fan, we have what you need, from the Sunday ticket for the NFL, college football, Major League playoffs, and more. Listen up, Tri-State, if you are a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have just for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a
Bear sighting?
Location.
In the forest near the side of the road.
No need for alarm, sir. The forest is where bears live.
But this was no ordinary bear.
No ordinary bear?
At 1 second, I'm having a smoke taken in the view. Next thing I know, I am face to face with Smokey Bear.
Let me guess, Smokey had a tip for you.
He did. He must have seen me toss my cigarette on the ground. He told me never to do that because it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
He's a smart bear. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
That's what Smokey said. I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous, and you're not.
Good point.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires. This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up, we've got the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Sydney Shelton. She's going to update us on what's happening this weekend for the Thundering Herd. We've got volleyball this weekend as well as basketball exhibition play for both the men and women. And we've also got you at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Of course, with basketball coming up, the Thundering Herd has been practicing, getting ready. We'll see what they look like live fire against U-Pike, both the men and the women on Sunday. And as I mentioned earlier, if you weren't with us earlier in the week, last week, closer to the start of the game, there was, in between all of the tailgating and kickoff, there was the official dedication for the Scaggs Family Practice Facility. And I got to meet the Scaggs family, and they're super nice, and they really love Marshall. So it was cool to talk to them about why they did this. And first up, I talked to Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears, got a few minutes with him, kind of talk about the excitement of the facility. And if you weren't there, one of the things he talked about was, hey, people don't want to come in here. And this was pre the remodel. People just don't want to come in here. They don't want to use this place. They don't want to practice in here. They avoid it. It's terrible. It's not terrible anymore. You go in there. It's much improved. It's what it should have been. Christian talked about the floor needing sanding. It hadn't been sanded in 50 years. So when the dedication was over and the governor left and everybody had left the stage, I had a chance to talk briefly with Wyatt Scaggs. Presentation today for the Scaggs Family Practice Facility. When you hear that and you see that, what do you think?
Pride. It's a dream come true for our family. My mother and dad always wanted to build a practice basketball facility, really, for athletes to be able just to come in and practice and play, like I said, hone their skills and just get better. And the athletes here at Marshall now have that chance. There's no excuse for them not to be able to come up here and practice.
Anybody can just give a donation, slap a coat of paint on a room, call it a day. That wasn't how you were going to proceed.
No, it's been like over a year in the working. And I told them from day one that until it was done first class, because that's the way my mother and dad did things, that we weren't going to have the dedication. And it took a lot of work. It finally came to, and here we are tonight celebrating it.
What was a must-have for you when this project was put together?
Well, it just had to be done first class. I mean, all materials, quality materials. We wanted several baskets. We got 8 baskets here. And, when you have a basketball practice facility, you need little things like time clocks, training rooms. The weight room is right across the hallway. Just all kinds of little things that did. Ball storage facilities, whiteboards, scoreboards. The only thing we don't have yet coming is a video camera system that will be able to be remote controlled from the floor, like with joysticks. That's on order and will be here shortly.
So this isn't I'm done, it's here, congratulations. The project continues for you.
The project continues, and we're going to make sure that Marshall keeps it up, which I know that they want to, and we'll use it, and we're just excited about it.
What stands out the most when you come in here? I remember as a student, I came in here, this place was not what it is now.
I think the graphics and the color scheme, the green and white, and it popped off with the black. You go down the hallways, they got the black ceiling tile with the LED lights, and it just makes everything pop. And plus having my mom and dad's name on the side of the floor, that is a real big plus.
If you would talk more about that, special people, so the fact that you can come back and see that their name's here, I know that means a lot to the family.
It does, and they've been involved in martial athletics for a long, long time. My dad, back in 1991, he was one of the founders of the Train that brought 1,200 people down here from Logan. The next year, 1,100. He would go every year to the Southern Conference basketball tournament. We went to the NCAA tournament when we played TCU down in Charlotte, and he got to go. And unfortunately, he did not get to go when we went the second time out to San Diego. But with his grandson and his namesake on the bench as director of operations, our family is really tied to the basketball program at Marshall.
And this was something that was important for you to carry on, not only in honor of them, but it's a passion for you.
Oh, yes, it is. I love basketball. I used to coach middle school basketball, and I know that middle school basketball is not important in the grand scheme of things, but at that age, you try to develop young men that are going to do the right things. And a couple of years ago, I had 3 players and a director of operations on the bench out of 12. So, I mean, you can't get any better than that.
As a side note, it benefits not just the men, not just the women, but the volleyball program as well. So they get to make use of this facility. So really 3 programs plus.
Three programs plus. I don't know that much about the volleyball, but they have thanked me over and over again. When Tony Kemper was here, I called him and asked him what he needed, and he told me, he said, "Wyatt, you're the first person to ever call me and ask me what the women's program needed in the facility." He had a couple of ideas, like a sound system where they could hook up their music and listen and all that kind of stuff, and we did it. So yes, it's for all 3 sports and camps in the summer. So it is a multi-purpose facility, primarily basketball, but other people will be able to use it.
And moving now to Kim Caldwell, brand new energy surrounding the women's program. I'm sure it helped attract her to the job.
Well, I'm sure that it did too. I just met her for the first time tonight, and she's really impressive. She's got a lot of work cut out for her, but I think that she will get us to the next level. I think this year will be growing pains and try to find her way, but I think she's the real deal.
Scaggs Family Practice Facility. It's amazing to say, and it sounds so good to hear.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
That was a fun interview to do the other day with Wyatt Scaggs. Again, I met the family. The family was really nice. They like Marshall a lot. They care, and they wanted to do it right. So he was proud. He didn't want really a dedication until everything was right. So everything's right now. And then one of the reasons why this got done was Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears. And I told him, I remember this place when it was, I don't want to say the word dump, but it wasn't spectacular in here. And I told him that. I can't remember doing, as I mentioned to you, like the volleyball. I had the CB little walkie-talkie type thing. I would announce into it. I could have just got a bullhorn and said names of players. That would have been a lot better. But I had a chance to catch up with Marshall's athletic director, Christian Spears, after the dedication, kind of get his thoughts on the event. Here with Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears, we're at the dedication for the Scaggs Family Practice Facility. What a special day.
Really special day. I mean, you've seen this place before it got renovated. You know exactly what it used to look like, Paul. And to see it now and to have our student athletes be inspired by it, what the Scaggs family did, naming the court in honor of Neil and Joanne, their mom and dad, their grandparents, it'll transform how we do it here for decades, and couldn't be more happy.
Is this high on your priority list, or did this come about with the Scaggs family pushing this forward? Where was this at?
No, this was right at the top of the list. I have to be honest, when I first saw this facility, it made me a little bit depressed. There's no way that could be our practice gym. There's no way our kids practice in there every day. And they said to me, you know what, they avoid it. They regret it. They don't want to go in there. They ignore it. And I was like, that can't happen anymore. And then when Wyatt and his family came forward and said, can we do something to remedy this in honor of our mom and dad? And it transformed everything and where we were going and how we were going to get there. So again, just so amazingly grateful.
And this isn't just a practice facility. You've connected it with the walk as well to really give student athletes sort of a complete package.
Yeah, the Pathway project, and establishing the Herdway, and then knowing that it would lead into the Scaggs Family Practice Facility, and almost like it wrote itself. Like, we say it a lot, even when we don't know what we're doing, we know what we're doing. It was one of those kind of moments where, hey, this family wants to do something. Hey, let's combine it with the Pathway project, and those things together will create this amazing synergy, and that's exactly what happened.
So what, if someone hasn't been here yet, what can you tell them about some of the amenities? What's changed?
The most dramatic change is the court itself. We had a 50-year-old basketball court. And if you know anything about basketball courts, they have to be sanded 3 times. They have a life of about 12 years. If you sand them 3 times during those 12 years, our court had not had a sand in 50 years. Just that alone changed how people perceive it, how the student athletes perform on it. And that, for me, was the biggest change.
What were some of the other amenities that you've added to the facility? Because it's not just a court, it's everything that surrounds it, from health and wellness to air conditioning fans.
Right, yeah. We still haven't gotten the HVAC solved, but we will. But the fact that we installed the big-ass fans and at least can make it cool in here, it does get hot in West Virginia, particularly when our kids are practicing. And to be able to cool the facility and allow them to go harder is going to only make us better.
Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you.
That's Christian Spears, and the practice facility has been beneficial for volleyball as well. And they have definitely improved, and they've now got a facility. They've got a facility they can practice on. And I'm sure as the weeks and months progress, basketball, women and men, are going to have a better schedule to go out and practice if the men need to practice at this time, and that is something that they can do on the home court while the women are in Gullickson and the Scaggs Family Practice Facility, vice versa. I'd like to eventually see a complete package for both men and women, a court for men, a facility for women, and of course work volleyball in there as well. That's a long-term goal. Again, I'm writing checks with money I don't have. When we continue, we'll hear from the marketing director of Marshall University. She's director of marketing and fan engagement. That's her full title, Sydney Shelton. That's coming up on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Check out Working Man's Store in Huntington, the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Medcouture, Infinity, Dickies, and Cherokee at the best price. Working Man's Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man's Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man's Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man's Store, open every day at 145th Avenue, Huntington.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you were a sports fan, we have what you need, from the Sunday ticket for the NFL, college football, Major League playoffs, and more. Listen up, Tri-State, if you are a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have just for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Stable Starting Fluid is an aerosol spray that guarantees a faster start in gasoline and diesel engines. Its heavy-duty formula inhibits corrosion and lubricates upper cylinders. An 11-ounce can is just $2.99 after rebate. Keep your carburetor clean with a can of Stable Carbon Choke Cleaner. Also just $2.99 after 11% off. Good through October 29th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You saved my life. You held my hand when I was scared. You helped me say goodbye to my dad. You were an example for me. You gave me strength when I thought I had none left. I couldn't tell you then, but I want to say thank you, all of you, for everything. Thank you to the physicians, nurses, and others working in America's hospitals and health systems. A message from the American Hospital Association, American Medical Association, and American Nurses Association.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. In just a minute, we're going to check in with the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Sydney Shelton. We'll get some of your text in as well. It's a busy night in sports yesterday. The Arizona fan parade, train, bus, whatever you want to call it, it continues. The Diamondbacks beat Philadelphia 4-2, win the series 4-3. World Series Game 1 coming up on Friday. It's going to be Arizona at Texas. What do you think? Is that the matchup we wanted, or is that the matchup we deserve? It should be a fun one, and of course, we'll have some of those games, select games coming up, as we got a busy weekend as well. High school football on Friday. We've got Marshall on Saturday. We've got the Bengals on Sunday. We got Monday Night Football. We'll have some World Series thrown in there as well. But the Arizona, Texas, that is coming up Friday, 8 o'clock. For those of you who are into the Fall Classic, should be a fun one. NBA got underway last night. Also, it was a really busy night in hockey. Anaheim beat Columbus 3-2 in overtime. And then the Cavs open up the NBA regular season at Brooklyn tonight, 7:30. So busy night for area professional teams. And, of course, the team that most of you care about, the Marshall Thundering Herd. Thundering Herd on the road for football on Saturday, but there's a lot of other things happening on the campus, not to mention next week as well. There are a lot of things going on. So I'll tell you what, if you can't go down to the football game, there might be some options with you. And so let's bring our guest on, and we'll talk more about what's happening. Let's welcome to the program now the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement for Marshall University, Sydney Shelton. And for those of you not hitting the road to see the Herd take on Coastal Carolina in football, you still have an opportunity to see the Herd, the volleyball team, playing host to Coastal Carolina, final home schedule. And Sydney's here to tell us more about that. Had a great weekend last time the Herd was at home. You know, anytime you get a win over Appalachian State, that makes the fans happy, and hope to continue that against Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, we're super excited to be back in the CAM this weekend. It'll be back-to-back weekends for volleyball, you know, taking on Coastal after the big App State wins last weekend. But we're super excited. You know, we got Friday night, 6 o'clock. Come on out. It's our We Are United game. You know, we're supporting diversity and inclusion and pride. And it's super important to our student athletes. All of those causes are super important to our faculty and staff. And so we're honoring all of that with our game on Friday. And then Saturday is Senior Day. So game time at 1, and Senior Day festivities will actually take place after the game. So you're going to come cheer on the volleyball team, stick around, stay for the Senior Day festivities, and then we'll even have a signing Saturday. Sounds like a fun time to me.
Sydney is with us. Sydney Shelton, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. So, you know, why was it decided to do all these activities afterwards? Usually, traditionally, you get all of that out of the way, and then you play the match, you play the game. You know, so why this way, and why does this work better?
You know, it kind of depends on the team and the program and the coaching staff. But, you know, Senior Day is a lot of emotions. It's a lot of laughs. You know, maybe your last time playing in the Cam Henderson Center, for example, for this weekend. And so having those festivities after allow our student athletes to not have that additional pressure on them. They get to come in, they get to play volleyball, the sport they love, or in other cases, the other sports that they love. And then when that's all said and done, then we can be emotional and talk about the last and the senior festivities and all of that stuff. So that's one of the reasons we've kind of pushed to have these events take place after our game.
So volleyball wrapping up the home slate, so an opportunity to see the Herd one last time, at least on the home court. Plenty of tickets still available. If fans want to show up, want to come to this, and they haven't been to a volleyball match just yet, you know, what's the process for them?
Yeah, we'd love to have you at the CAM if you haven't been there yet. You just enter the CAM up the ramp that's along 3rd Ave. You'll come in those top doors up there, and we have our ticket booth up there. You're able to purchase a ticket and then come on down and support.
Tickets are inexpensive as well, right?
Yeah, they are. They're just $5 a ticket, so super affordable. You know, we want you to come out and support a really special team and Coach Ari in their last homestand.
So fans get this opportunity, and of course, again, it's going to be on the 27th and the 28th, so 2 opportunities to see the Herd in action take on Coastal Carolina on that brand new court for volleyball. And then after that, we've got coming up, it's exhibition game to some, it's fans first to most others, as the Marshall men's and women's basketball teams will be hitting the court on Sunday. Both teams taking on U-Pike. The men will play first at 3 o'clock, and then the women will take the court and play at 6:30. I know this will be the first opportunity for a lot of Herd fans to see all the new excitement surrounding the women's program. Of course, if you can't get excited for Dan D'Antoni, I don't know what I can tell you, Sydney, because Dan's ready to go.
You know, we're super excited to be back in the CAM for basketball. It arrives way quicker than we all expect every single year, but we're super excited for it. You know, you come out and support our men's student athletes at 3, and come out and support our women's student athletes at 6:30. And, you know, we're super excited to welcome Kim to the Cam Henderson. You know, she's been here for a few months now, but we're going to get this first game under her belt, and we're super excited to watch her style of play and all the new things that she's going to bring to the court.
Any special promotions that you should start talking about as far as season tickets? I know this is going to be a fun first season for the women. What can Herd fans expect as far as season ticket options? I know there's going to be courtside seating available and a lot of things throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have season tickets still available. You can purchase those by going to herdzone.com or by calling the ticket office. This weekend for our fans' first games, actually it is free admission. So we want everyone to come join us for a great time, celebrating basketball being back and all the things. So we're not even worried about you having a ticket. You just come on down, enjoy the time. And in addition to free admission, between the two games, we are going to be giving away $10,000 worth of giveaways. So that may be in the form of some season tickets, some autographs, memorabilia, lots of things will get us added up to that $10,000 number. But we'll be giving away $10,000 worth of giveaways on Sundays at Sunday's contest.
Okay, and this is in between the men's and women's contest. So if you want to take advantage of that, you need to be there before the end of the men's game and definitely before the start of the women's contest. And I'm sure there'll be some surprises as well, not just tickets and other items, but there will be some, I'm sure, a couple of big ticket items here. I know you're not going to give me too many details.
Not too many details, but actually not between the two, in addition to the two. So you can come to men's basketball games and you can have a chance at some giveaways. You can have a chance at some giveaways during the women's game, but you're only going to get your full advantage of the giveaways if you attend both. Okay, so it starts with the men's game, and then it continues on through the women's game. Yeah, absolutely. So we want you to come out, support the men first, stick around, stay for the women, and then, enhance your chances to win some of those giveaways. Okay, so if I'm at the men's game and then close to, it's going to begin there, and then in between – there's going to be some things happening there. And then when the women's game starts, there's going to be some things happening there. So really come for both games, have an opportunity to take part of all those options there. And possibly, I don't know, win some season tickets maybe? Am I? Maybe we'll just have to wait and see. My policy. If you want to do all the fun things and participate in all the fun things, then you got to be in the cam. All right, Sydney Shelton is with us. She's Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. She also likes keeping secrets because she doesn't believe in opening her Christmas presents until Christmas Day. You're that person, right? Absolutely, that's a fact. That's a fact. You don't open your Christmas presents until Christmas Day. What about Christmas Eve? Do you get one? I don't know. Maybe when you're like 10 and under, but after then, Christmas presents on Christmas Day only. Christmas Day, Sydney Shelton. That's the only time you can open your Christmas presents, and she's got Christmas presents for everyone. And it's going to be the fans' first games. Those are on Sunday. Both teams taking on U Pike. You get a chance to see Dan D'Antoni with one of the best squads he's ever had. If you listen to him week in and week out, he's excited. And then Kim Caldwell, her squad. We're just excited to see them, how fast they're going to be, what the new energy surrounding the program is going to be. So it sounds like it's going to be fun. And then after that, Sydney, kind of a tease for next week. What's coming up that maybe we should start keeping an eye on? Yeah, so men's soccer will be back at the Vet on Tuesday. And, I am super excited for Christmas. But before Christmas does come Halloween, so we want you to come out, wear your costumes. We're going to have a costume contest, and those little kids, they're going to go trick-or-treat elsewhere first, and then when they come to the Vet, we'll have a little treat bag for the first 150 kids. Sydney Shelton joining us, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. Busy weekend. Her taking on Coastal Carolina on Friday and Saturday. Then Fans First, Marshall taking on U Pike in men's and women's basketball. That's coming up on Sunday. Sydney, I'll see you next week. All right. Thank you very much. Sydney Wells Shelton, she takes good care of the herd with everything she does. When we continue, we'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated. 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Imagine this. It's a chilly winter morning. It snowed a little overnight. You think to yourself, is my car ready for this? There are multiple steps you could take to see if your car is ready for winter. Or one simple one. Have the pros at TikTok Tire make sure your car is ready for winter. They'll check your battery, tires, fluids, wipers, and hoses. Don't get caught out in the cold this winter. Give the pros at TikTok Tire a call and they'll be happy to answer any questions. Winterize your car at TikTok Tire, 2102 3rd Avenue, Huntington. Call today for your appointment at 304-525-7831.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
It's been a trying year for parents. They've been confronted with countless challenges and have always risen to the occasion. If it isn't too much to ask, the 35,000 high school student athletes in West Virginia have one last request.
Please, set an example.
Disorderly fan conduct at high school athletic events is on the rise. It increasingly involves parents. There's no question that parents are passionate. There's no question they care about their children. But at a time when we're all wound a little more tightly than usual, it's worth remembering this about West Virginia high school sports. Always be a good example. Stop unruly fan behavior before it starts.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
How was your day? What did you do in school? I'm Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association, and these two simple questions can encourage learning in your home. Showing interest and asking about the school day can help motivate your children and keep them excited about learning. So stay involved, stay curious, and ask specific questions. Student success involves the whole family.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of the show. Our text line is always open for you at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we wind down today's edition of the show. Something that came across earlier. I don't know if you saw this, but Army is going to be joining the AAC as a football-only member in 2024. And that got me to thinking, what's that going to look like as far as the schedule is concerned? Because Army is scheduled to play at Marshall on August 30th, 2025, and then the Herd will return the game on October 10th, 2026. So what's that look like as far as the schedule is concerned for Marshall and Army? Will there be some adjustment? And here's the interesting thing about this. Army and Navy will still play the traditional game, and it's going to be a non-conference game. So Army and Navy can finish 1 and 2 in the American and then play in the championship game, and then they're still going to play their game. They can see each other. If I understood this right, don't hold me to this, but if I understood this right, I'd like to see the schedule. I'll be curious to see how they schedule this because they're always going to play Navy. It's going to be the game. It's just going to be a non-conference game. And, of course, this is a football-only membership for Army. Army was in Conference USA for a few seasons, didn't do so well in Conference USA. So I don't know how Army is going to do inside of the American. Now, the American is not what the American used to be, but Army's pretty good. Navy, of course, that game's always going to be on the schedule. And it doesn't matter. That's one of those few schools that it doesn't matter if Army is undefeated or winless. We like Army. We like the history. We like the tradition. We like the pageantry. It's college football. That's what college football is. Army, Navy especially. But going back to my original thought here, Marshall's on the schedule on the August 30th game. That's coming up, 2025. I wonder what this is going to do for the schedule. Are these games going to be rescheduled? Are these games going to be bought out? What's going to happen here? Interesting, to say the least. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with the Marshall Army game. I know a lot of you enjoyed going to see the Herd take on Navy. That was a fun game for you. Marshall and Navy. That was definitely a great trip. And there were some really good games on the schedule. The Notre Dame game, that was a fun one. The Navy game, you're seeing the Herd play at least a few more quality Power 5 schools, if you want to call them that. Of course, you get the win against ECU, and then you get the win against Virginia Tech. You don't get the win against North Carolina State, and then you lose to a really good Georgia State team, and you lose to a really good JMU team. But still, it's been a pretty good schedule so far. I've been entertained. The results haven't been where you want them to be, but I've been entertained so far. So we're halfway through this thing, and we got a few more to go, and hopefully the Herd can make it to the championship game. It's going to be a tough road. The good news is JMU can't go to the championship game. They're ineligible. So all you have to do is keep pace with everyone else. You don't have to worry about JMU. They're sort of like this wild card. They're this wild card for the conference. Next year, it's going to be different. But with all that said, we're out of time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get into this more tomorrow, and we'll get your text and phone calls in as well. And don't forget, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. Looking forward to hearing from you. Back tomorrow on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.